What is going on, guys? What's going on? So those of you who watched my last video, I pretty much stated that my grandfather, he sent me a letter in the mail. Talk about old-fashioned, but he sent me a letter in the mail, and at first, I was skeptical about opening it up because I thought he was gonna do the whole, "You're an apostate. Why are you doing this, son? You're embarrassing the family." I thought I was gonna hear that. And like I said in my last video, I heard the exact opposite. He pretty much said in the letter, he said, "Listen, you're my first grandson. You're my family. He said, I'm not putting no religion before my family," right? And then he said, "I've been watching your videos on YouTube, and you have a lot of good ideas." So when he said that, I said, "Oh shit, that tells me that he woke up." If you're watching my videos, and I'm a full-blown apostate. I made it crystal clear on social media. Everyone who knows me knows that I am an ex-witness. I make it public so everyone knows. Jehovah's Witnesses, ex-witnesses, everybody, right? So my grandfather, he gave me his number in the letter. He also gave me his number. He said, "Give me a call. I can't wait to see you." So I called him, and we had a really, really, really good conversation. That was the first time I've spoken to my grandfather in years. In years. Now, I knew he was inactive. But there's two different types of inactive witnesses. There are inactive witnesses that still believe it's the truth, right? And then you have your inactive witnesses that faded because they discovered that it's not the truth, right? And they still want to keep in touch with their families. So my grandfather, he pretty much woke up from the cult. And when I called him, one of the first things I asked, I said, "Grandfather, what made you wake up? What helped you to wake up and realize that this is not the truth?" And he woke up during COVID. He said he had so much free time on his hands. He was already starting to have doubts. He was already questioning things, right? But when COVID was in the mix, that gave him the green light to do his research. And as we all know, once you do your research, it's done. It's a wrap. There is no going back to that cult. Once you do your research, you can't unsee things. You can't unsee the truth about the truth. So he did his research, and he stumbled across the Australian Royal Commission, just like I did. That woke me up. I think that woke up a lot of witnesses. A lot of people woke up after watching the Australian Royal Commission. So he was watching videos, ex-witness videos. He did his research. He stumbled across the Australian Royal Commission, and he eventually woke up. And I am so thankful. Oh man, that was the first time me and my grandfather had a heart-to-heart. That was the first time ever. We was on the phone for a good 30, maybe 40 minutes. We had a really good conversation. I assured him that the next time I am in New York City, I will see him. I will see him. And I can't wait to just, have a meal with my grandfather, have a drink with him, just sit down and talk about life. And my grandfather, so, he follows me on social media, on Facebook. And he said, "Oh, Jesus, Teron, I've been watching you." He said, "I see you. You've been traveling the world. You've been Australia. You've been to South Korea. You've been to Japan. You've been here and there." He said, I'm so envious. And he says, "I'm happy for you. I'm happy that you travel and you're living your life." And he was saying to me, he said, he gave 50 years. My grandfather gave 50 fucking years to this fucking toxic ass cult. And he feels like he has nothing to show for it. And I told him, I said, "Grandfather," I said, "as long as you're breathing, as long as there is air in your lungs and your heart is still breathing, the world is yours." Yeah, I know he's up there in age, he's in his early 80s. But as long as you're still breathing, you can still travel. I know he's limited. It's going to be a little difficult, but it's not impossible. It's not impossible. And it's so sad that this organization took 50 years. It took 50 years, and he was beating himself up. He said, "I can't believe I invested 50 years in this." And I showed him, I said, "Grandfather, it would have been extremely difficult to wake up. Remember, back in the day, there was no internet. When he became a witness, He wasn't a born-in. But when he became a witness, there was no internet back in the day. It would have been way harder to wake up in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. But when the internet came out, see, the internet is the biggest threat to this organization. That's why people are waking up. People are waking up because of things that they are seeing online, either from the ex-witness community or just by them doing their own research. I mean, once you see the Australian Royal Commission, once you see a governing body leader lying under oath, how can you go back to that shit? You can't be a witness ever again. It's done. It's done. So that made my fucking year. Just knowing that I'm not the only one in my family who woke up. And you know what? The last year, I was trying to forget about my family. They forgot about me. My family, my mom, my two brothers easily blocked me. Easily. No hesitation. No questions asked. They didn't even hear my side of the story. I encouraged them to do their research. Oh, you're an apostate. You're telling us to do research. You're telling us to use critical thinking skills. We know that this is the truth. How? How do you know that this is the truth? It's sad. It's sad that my family, if they don't wake up, they're gonna die believing in this bullshit. And out of all people, I cannot believe my grandfather, who gave 50 years, he used to give talks on platform. He used to be an auxiliary pioneer. He was an MS at one point. So for him to wake up, that gives me hope that my mom and my two brothers can wake up. And that's why I'm making this video, because I want to give people hope. All of you people who are watching this video, if you have relatives in this organization, it doesn't matter if they've been in it for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. If my grandfather, if he could give 50 years to this organization and wake up, then anything is possible. Anything really is possible. So don't give up on hope, guys. Don't give up on hope that your loved ones can wake up. Anyone can wake up. Anybody can wake up. I'm just happy that my grandfather reached out to me. I'm happy that he's watching my videos. I'm happy that we both know we are the only ones in our family that have woken up. Me and my grandfather. Everybody else is, well, a few of my relatives are the fellowship, and you know, the rest are locked in. Sad to say, the rest of them are just brainwashed. They're brainwashed. But this gives me hope that my mom and my two brothers can eventually wake up. Now, my grandfather said something. He said, "Jerron, I love your videos. I love how you're so enthusiastic. You know, you tell it how it is. You're upfront. You're living your life. You're being authentic. You're standing up for what you believe in." And yeah, I said to him, I said, "Yeah, we have one life to live. And when I die, I'm gonna have no regrets. I'm gonna die knowing that I was my true, authentic self. I was raw. I was real. I was upfront. I was honest. I'm telling people exactly how it is." Because when we were witnesses, right, we were always taught to be submissive. We didn't have a voice. We didn't have a voice when we were witnesses. They took away our voice. When you're at a judicial meeting and you're sitting before elders, right, you could be crying, you could be pouring your heart out to them, you could be telling them, "Hey, brothers, I'm so repentant. I want to do better. I want to be a better person. Help me." They don't give a fuck about that. Elders are not there to help you. You have no voice when you're a witness. And that is what helped me to wake up. When I realized that I didn't have a voice at my own judicial, I'm sitting before three fucktards that are pretending to have God's Holy Spirit backing them, right? They're pretending to have this invisible power. And all it takes is one or two elders that want to abuse their power and say, you know what? We're going to punish you. Even though you change, you're living a whole different lifestyle. You're doing better. You're living like a legit witness again. We're still going to abuse our power and defellowship you. When I stood my ground, that didn't mean jack shit. I had no voice as a witness. I had no voice at all as a witness. And that is why I am the way that I am right now. That is why I tolerate zero bullshit from people. I tolerate zero bullshit. because I grew up in a society, I grew up in a cult where I had no voice. I had no voice. So now I'm gonna use my voice to the max, and now I'm gonna put this organization on blast. Now I'm gonna help people to see that this is nothing but a man-made cult. There is no God behind this. There's nothing. This is just men running the show, pretending to be holy, pretending to be spiritual. So when my grandfather's like, oh, Jerron, I watch your videos and you're up front, you're real, you're raw. That's why. Because my voice was taken away from me when I was in that fucking cult. So now I'm going ham. Now I'm telling the world what this organization does to its members. How they treat people who decide to leave. How they treat people who question things. How they treat people who speak up for themselves. So don't be afraid to use your voice. When you lead this cult, don't leave with the same submissive attitude that we had when we were witnesses. Remember, elders are just mere men pretending to have Holy Spirit. My grandfather, he realized this. He realized this. He saw all the hypocrisy in the congregation. And you know what? I think he was waking up before COVID. He was already having doubts. He was already questioning things. But you throw COVID in the mix, no more meetings, no more field service. You have all this free time on your hands. You're bound to wake up eventually. When you start thinking, when you start to use critical thinking skills and you start to do your own research, it's done. It's a wrap. That's why the organization, that's why they want to keep their members busy, because the minute you start to have a little freeway, you have some free time on your hands, it's done. You do some research, it's a wrap. You know, so I'm just happy. I'm thankful that my grandfather reached out to me. Like, he really made my whole fucking year. And I'm still in shock, to be honest. Like, this is a surreal feeling. Like, I am in shock, guys. I would have never thought in a million years that out of everybody in my family, my grandfather. So like I said, it just gives me hope that if he could wake up after 50 years, if he could wake up, anybody could wake up. Anybody could wake up. And I just wanted to make this video to help people, to remind people to don't give up on your loved ones. Still live your life, you know, live your life. Don't hold your breath waiting for them to wake up, because some may not wake up. Some people may not never wake up. But also don't give up on hope. You know, when he sent me that letter in the mail, I was taken back. I'm still in. I still feel like I'm dreaming, you know, because I thought for the longest that I would die never hearing from any of my family members ever again. But I'm thankful. I am beyond grateful and thankful that my grandfather used his critical thinking skills. He saw the hypocrisy in the congregation. He did his research during COVID, and he woke up. He woke up. Whew. Anywho, guys, I hope everyone is enjoying their week. I'm going to end this video, but people are waking up. And you know what? More people are bound to wake up. All these changes. We have 2 new governing body leaders. Like, come on. This religion is a fucking joke now. How can you honestly take this religion seriously? And you know what? Me and my grandfather, we was talking about the whole beard situation. He was saying how he know brothers in their 50s, 60s never had a beard. The minute the governing body leader said, oh, you know what? It's not scriptural. You can have a beard. All these grown-ass men, all these grown-ass adults, these men are now sporting beards. What kind of shit is this? Well, when I say this is some Twilight Zone shit, like, you can't make this shit up. You really can't make this shit up. The shit that you see that's going on right now, all these changes, this shit is comical. This shit is a fucking joke. This is not the same cult. This is not the same religion that we knew back in the day. It's not. It's not. But I'm happy that people are finally waking up. People are waking up. And you know what? More people are bound to wake up. The ones with common sense, that is, the one with critical thinking skills, are bound to wake up, because this religion is a fucking joke. It's a fucking joke. And I always tell, just like I told my grandfather the other day, I said, grandfather, I know you feel like you gave 50 years of your life. I know there's a lot of things that you can't do right now. He's limited. You know, he's limited as to what he can do. He's in his 80s, his early 80s. But I told him, I said, grandfather, it is better to wake up late than never at all. Think about all those people who passed away. They never died. I mean, sorry, they died not knowing the truth about the truth. They died believing in a lie. My heart goes out to those people. I feel bad. I feel bad that millions of people died without knowing the truth about the truth. But my grandfather, whenever he passes away, he's gonna pass away as a free man, just like I am. I'm gonna pass away I don't care if I die tomorrow. As long as I die knowing the truth about the truth, I'm gonna die living my true, authentic life. I'm gonna die traveling the world, telling my family and friends that I love them. I'm doing what I want to do for the first time in my life. With no control over my shower, no influence, you know, by any elders, no governing body leaders. I'm living my life. Guys, my grandfather woke up. That made my fucking year. Just knowing that he is no longer part of this cult made my year. Like I said, we had a really good conversation. I cannot wait to see him again. Next time I'm in New York, I'm definitely going to see my grandfather. I'm gonna hang out with him, give him the biggest hug ever. Don't give up on hope. People are waking up, your family, your friends. I feel like it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time before the majority of people wake up. Well, the ones with common sense, that is. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna end this video. I'll see you guys on the next video, all right? I love you guys. Take care.